Good morning, everyone. And here we are in February, coming up to our third anniversary as Avinians, Avini Health Company. I believe it was Tony Abeta that coined that term. And I love being an Avinian. And we got something so wonderful to do. And just think about this. Here we are, not quite 3 years old. We've had a wonderful shakedown cruise. We know it works, but before Avini, what's really amazing is we've got products that have actually got a 20 and even more year track record. It's all proven, but just the timing, where we are, everything is just right. And so let's act on it. And I wanted to just start out by looking back in my years when I was 4 years old. Uh, Kids gave talks. We started early, and I still remember my first talk, and that was the one that I had all of my kids give as well. And it's the world is like a mirror reflecting what you do. And if your face is smiling, it smiles right back at you. And I think about that. I didn't really understand it. I knew about mirrors and the world is like a mirror, but if you really think about that, there's a lot of impact to that, this cause and effect that we can create. What we do influences others and it comes back to us. And that law of return. And that's what I'd like to talk about today. And this is something I was looking at and found this already made. And look at that. Everything and everyone is your mirror. It's something to really think about. What an amazing and sobering responsibility that we have an effect on everything else. And so let's go a little deeper into that. And this is a great thought here. The more you recognize the immense good within you, the more you magnetize the immense good around you. And Gandhi, he says it so well. The world is like a mirror reflecting what you do. He goes into that we mirror the world. All the tendencies present in our outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change toward him. This is the divine mystery supreme. A wonderful thing it is, and the source of our happiness. We need not wait to see what others do. Let's just go do it. This is a book I picked up a little while ago, and think about this idea. And somebody talks about the media, all the stuff around us, that a lot of people are renting space in our heads for free. Be very mindful of that. But look at this idea that the book talks about. The voice in your head becomes the voice in your mouth. The voice in your mouth becomes the voice in others' heads. Well, that isn't that what we do in Avini? We get some good ideas, we share them with others, but wow, let's be really selective and careful who is putting the voices in our head. And then we can, by choice and strategy, just be really good at putting the voices in our mouth. But everything used to be a thought, originally was a thought. Thoughts are things, and they're things that create every other thing. And when I first got into this wonderful world of network marketing, hearing these powerful ideas, and this is something that just really transformed me. Just in summation, Jim Rohn talks about when you change, everything will change for you. And he just goes on, he just beats it to death. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. When you grow, everything in your life grows with you. And that's what I love about this business is it more than anything is an opportunity for personal growth. And it's funded by these amazing products that also can change us, help us work better, think better, have better lives. This is a central theme of Think and Grow Rich. And think about this, that desire, and there's a lot of good quotes with Napoleon Hill about this, but desire is the starting point of all achievement. Just desire. If you just want something, if you want it bad enough, it will just materialize. It will happen. Desire is everything. Along that idea, I believe decide. That's the same idea in a way. Desire, decide. If you really desire something, well, then decide. And Jack Canfield says this: decide what you want, believe that you can have it, believe you deserve it, and believe it's possible for you. Well, in Avini, right at this moment, I highly recommend that you decide to play big in this. And one of my favorite thoughts by George Bernard Shaw talks about that I don't believe in circumstances. The people that get on in their life are the people that look for the right circumstances, and if they can't find them, make them. But what if you already happen to be in just the ideal circumstances? Isn't that powerful? That's where we are. If you want to do something really big and change the world, I believe Avini is that vehicle. But here's this idea of decisions. I love this, Stephen Covey. I am a product of my decisions. I am a product of my decisions. And circumstances, yeah, they have an effect, but we can create circumstances or find them. We found them with this ideal vehicle right here. Now, one of the things I believe is really important is, in my steps that I talk about and believe, is to be really successful. And success is simply the finding something that's worthy and good. And that's definitely just a progressive realization of a worthy ideal is success. And however you look at it, what is worthy? One of my favorite thoughts is success is just making a positive difference in the lives of other people. How can it be better than that? Well, make a bigger positive difference in the lives of a greater number of people. We're in a position where we can do a great good to a whole lot of people. And so, okay, decide what you want to do, have the desire to do it. And then once you've decided, find somebody that's already where you want to be, learn what they do and do the same things. And of course of time, what happens is you eventually resemble that successful person because you're doing the same things. And so this is such a neat idea here. A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out in you. Oh, wow, brings it out of you. This is such a wonderful idea. I think about just when Valerie and I met 52 years ago, there was at a dance, and I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she says, a mommy. And we were thinking about six. We wound up having 11 children. And what a wonderful thing it is. A family, that's where some of the greatest, well, it is, that's where your greatest happiness comes from. But I think in my mind, the wonder and the opportunity and great responsibility of bringing a child into this world, just there they are, and you pour yourself into them. And so much of it is this idea of loving them, believing in them, seeing ability, because you are a product of your environment and you want your home, you want your business, you want it to be a loving, nurturing, growth environment. And as distributors, when we sponsor somebody, it's like giving birth, and we want to take care of them. And so, okay, decide what you want to do, find a mentor. Uh, Now, what you want to have is a vehicle, something to take you there. And that's what I love about this business is as far as a business, this is a vehicle where you can apply your energy and power. You've got a really awesome game plan to follow and just do that every day. But the Avini Health business, it is the ideal business in terms of any way you want to measure success, making a difference, earning income, just achievement, time and money freedom. We've got everything. This is the ultimate business vehicle. And so, okay, circumstances. Well, there is such a thing as circumstances. They are important. We've all heard being at the right place at the right time. And look what we have right here. I believe we have the very best company. I think it's really important to have great leadership, competent leadership. Since I'm talking about my wife, I could say, okay, trustworthy. I totally trust her implicitly. However, if for some reason I needed brain surgery, I wouldn't trust her to do to be my neurosurgeon. No, I wouldn't. So that's another thing I love about our company is they're trustworthy, but they're competent. They really know what they're doing. But we're in an ideal circumstances. Here we have three key people right now: Neil Roth, Rick Deitch, and we have Mickey Dillon. These guys have worked together for 30 years and they're extremely competent in their abilities. Rick, you can't find a better biochemist to create products that make a difference. Neil Roth, he's done billions of dollars in directing big companies with 1,000+ branches, knows how to do it. Got burned out on that, got into network marketing, became a triple diamond. That's where he met Mickey. Mickey was a triple diamond in that same company. They worked together, did meetings together. But Neil is a marvelous CEO. Mickey is a great guy in sales and motivation. We've got it all. We've got people in the field that have done billions of dollars in sales in prior companies. All of us have had a few rodeos before. Product, oh my goodness, to justify even having a business, you need some type of product or service. Can you imagine a better product to have? These are wonderful products that change lives. They're consumable. So once you find customers, they use the product and get it again and again. It's so good they'll refer you to other people. Timing, trends. Well, right now, many of us have been health nuts, enthusiastic about health for a long time and realize the power of just doing things naturally. And you look at what's going on with this idea of defining health as healthcare. It's really sick care. It's not really healthcare. It's taking drugs and managing things with turning them into chronic conditions managed by taking drugs the rest of your life. And we're realizing that, well, if that was the answer, we spend much more on all of that than anyone else in the world. 100 years ago, America was the healthiest nation in the world. Now we're the worst, from first to worst. And all of this is just really coming into the national consciousness right at this moment. Compensation. Well, yeah, the servant is worthy of his hire. Here we have the best comp plan I've ever worked under. Training and support, just everything is in place right now. The only unknown factor in this equation of success, when you think of the circumstances, we are in ideal circumstances. Timing right, market immeasurable, products unsurpassed, amazing leadership support, everything is there. What do you want to do? Decide. I talked a little bit about this already. Wow, I can't think of a better Secretary of Health. Healthcare, insurance, all of this stuff is broken. Oh my goodness. We need to do something different and enter Avini. And so a lot of our business, a lot of our work day to day is just education, getting people to take a look at what we're doing. And once they apply it, they can transform their lives and then pass it forward. Now, everything is leadership. And I was listening to a podcast just a couple of days ago with John Maxwell. Recommend you do the same thing. John Maxwell Leadership Podcast. Just Google that. Download it, get it into your podcasts. But I talked about, he was awarded again, recognized as the leadership guru of the world. Well, okay, if you want to be a leader, do what leaders do. I love what he talks about. If you want to be a leader, but you look behind you and there's nobody following you, he says, you're not a leader, you're just out taking a walk. But what does he do? So here's some thoughts. Okay, how to be a leader? Well, first, it's not saying I'm going to stand up and the world is going to follow me. Where does it start? Not with the world, not even with my team. He says, I start with myself. Well, if you think about that, one of the hardest people to lead is yourself. But if you can get your act together, make sure that you're the example that you want your team to be, then that's the way it is. It's like what we've all heard. How do you get your kids to go to church? Well, you don't send them, you take them. Everything, follow me. It's not do what I say, it's do what I do. Well, ideally, it's both. That those are congruent. They're all the same thing. One of the really critical things is, and let's just talk about Avini specifically. Why would you like to be a diamond in Avini? When you look at the comp plan, you think, well, where would I like to be in this? Well, why not the top? Okay, now doing it for the right reasons. Why? Do you want to be a leader? And this is what John Maxwell says over and over again, is that the only reason to lead is to benefit others. Leadership is all about other people. It's not about you. It's not about me. And I believe when you're presenting Avini to people, you're asking them questions. And often they might not be openly voicing questions, but I'm certain in their mind, they're questioning like, do you really believe in this? Can I trust you? Can I believe in this? All of these things. And do you really care about me rather than just trying to make a sale? And a lot of that communication, we all know, is nonverbal. So you've got to get your heart right. And that's what it's all about. But I love this idea. Fundamentally, the only reason for you and me to lead is to add value. Okay. In Avini, all of us start at the very beginning. That's what it is. And I love how he says that mass movements don't begin with a mass. They begin with a few people who are passionate and committed to making a difference in the lives of other people around them. And when you catch that vision, and then leadership is just enrolling other people into that vision. And if you're on fire, you can light the hearts of other people on fire. But this is it. Just truly believe in it. Be excited, love people, and do the right stuff, share it. And all of a sudden, wow, how do you become a leader? Do the things that leaders do. And leadership is the enthusiastic communication of your vision. Okay, this is a statement. When I heard this, it was, wow, an epiphany. It's so powerful. In fact, listening to John Maxwell when he was young, in his 20s, he first met Zig Ziglar, and he heard this statement: you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. That, if you understand that, that's everything. And Zig goes on. He says, I've used this statement for nearly 50 years as a foundational truth, and never is the concept more accurate than when manage yourself and others. But he says, important, I'm talking about a principle and not a tactic. As a tactic, the words would be crass and ineffective. As a principle, the concept works because it makes others want your leadership. So really genuinely love other people, care about them. This is a book I recommend. If you go to Amazon, you can get this for, I think, $7.50, $8, something like that, including shipping. This is where you're going to be in the future. Depends on the books you read, the things that you listen to, your mentors, the people you associate with. The quickest way to change your whole life is change the input into your mind. Who do you hang around with? Zig Ziglar, going back to him, one of my favorite thoughts is if you want to get the flu, all you have to do is hang around people that have the flu. If you want to be successful, if you want to be healthy, if you want to really have a wonderful life, get in Avini and hang around our community. But also read this book. Get this book. This is old school. This has been around a while, but this is my favorite kind of stuff that is just, it always is on track because it's fundamentally people skills. So much of success, even happiness, in any way you would define happiness, have you thought about this? It involves other people, and not just having an abundant, wonderful life, certainly having a business. If you don't have people, you can't have a business. It's just everything is people. But he talks about just some basic things here, which we've kind of covered, but just go through it again. Have a just burning desire. Decide once and for all you're going to do it. Find a mentor, get a vehicle. Well, you have that, the Avini vehicle, a wonderful vehicle. And then just go to work, all out massive action consistently. And if you do all of this stuff, then share it with other people, and that's how you become a leader. Eric Worre wrote this book, Go Pro. It's really good. It's real thin, easy to read. And so much of success in anything, whether you want to be a farmer or do Avini, what's the fundamentals of being a farmer? Preparing the ground, planting, fertilizing, harvesting, getting really good at those fundamentals. These are the fundamentals that he talks about: finding prospects, inviting prospects to take a look, presenting your prospects with the product and the opportunity, follow up and follow through. Follow up, or it just won't work unless you follow up. Can't say it enough. Following up also, I would just add three-way phone calls. Okay, a fundamental skill is in that follow-up is helping your prospects become distributors or customers. And the big thing to build a business is helping your new people get started right. I think one of the most valuable things, and Eric Worre talks about this, and I agree that the most valuable, that most income producing thing that you will do in this business is get good people to come to events. And just around the corner, we've got the Avini conference that's going to be in Las Vegas. Get there. And I tell everybody, I say, I promise you, if you'll go to that, you'll be really glad you did. But also, I got to just give you a heads up. When you're there, you're going to be thinking, oh my goodness, why, oh, why didn't I invite Alice or Joe or someone? Because you'll be thinking, oh my goodness, this is something that's wonderful to be there, and you'll be glad you did. But you're going to be thinking, oh, I need to get some people there. Use this not just for personal consumption, but use this as a tool to build your business. If you get a few people there, you know that your business is going to grow. I love this. There's nothing like this. Again, leadership is the enthusiastic communication of your vision. Well, how do you get the vision? Well, you go to a big event like that. You come home and your eyes will be shining and it'll communicate with others. There's just nothing like being there. Okay, here's just going through that fundamentals again. This is something I've actually shared with people. Okay, and going back to Gandhi, the way to change the world is change yourself. And I think we've all heard this idea that if you could think, what kind of world would this world be if everyone in it were just like me? Here's a thought. What kind of business would my business be if everyone in it were just like me? And hopefully, when I ask you that, what kind of business would your business be if everyone in it were just like you? Hopefully you're thinking, oh my goodness, if only, oh boy, everybody would be using all the product and they'd be talking to people. Or I know some wonderful secret agent Avini distributors, they're not doing anything. And so if they had a downline doing exactly what they were doing, well, if they're doing nothing, even 1,000 times nothing is still nothing. You are what you duplicate. It really is true. So be your best customer. Personally, use the products, be excited about them. And I always think in my mind, just taking things to the ridiculous. Let's say you're over at some friend and you're talking about these products, and they say, well, what have you noticed? And you say, well, actually, I don't use any of them. I'm just trying to sell you. Of course you wouldn't do that. That is just the most ridiculous scenario, but of course that wouldn't work. And it really is this idea, I am sold myself. And probably all of us at some time in our life has said, if I could believe in something, I could sell it. And of course, at that point, when you totally believe, real sales is not talking somebody into something, not learning fancy things or anything. It's just speaking from the heart, your story. And we all do that. We all share. It's just a natural thing. If we really believe in something, it just naturally comes out that we share it with the people that we love and care about. That's what we have that powers this, that amazing word of mouth. But it all begins with finding a company that you truly believe in, with products that have changed your life and you want to help other people. When I first heard of what we call self-defender today, it was 7 years ago. And when I was profoundly affected by that, Chip and Marcy, so grateful for them, but all at the same time, we would commiserate because there was no business opportunity. We would share it for free. And all of us do that. We share things for free. We usually don't get a referral bonus if we recommend a restaurant. Sometimes if you recommend a dentist, somebody calls, who's your dentist? Do you like him? They might give you a $50 credit or your accountant. A lot of times that's done, but not a lot and not enough to make it so you become a raving fan and you're out there doing it purposefully every day saying, hey, do you guys need a dentist? Are you happy with your dentist? Mine's really good. No, but this is in a way where it's so life-changing what we have. And we've got such a simple plan where you can get paid really well for using these products. It's just amazing. Okay, now if you're going to use the products, get on auto ship. It just makes sense. You're going to save a whole lot. Getting on auto ship, you earn 20% in reward points. Well, effectively, that goes into your wallet, builds up. And so effectively, you're getting a 20% discount. That's big. Well, if you're going to do it, ideally, if you're building an empire, when would you like everybody to be on auto ship? The first day of the month. Psychologically, imagine a boost. You roll into a new month, you look on your computer and think, oh, I wonder what my volume is. Instead of zero, it could be many thousands of dollars because everybody is doing what you did. You've got auto ship the first day of the month. Ideally, that's get on auto ship, ideally the first day of the month. Now, also volume, get some customers. Again, be your own best customer, but I tell everyone, I have a goal to do at least 500 personal volume every month. 500 is a magic number in the Avini comp plan. As you get to understand it, the first volume requirement to get a check is 500. And so get customers, get distributors. If your volume is at least 500, but it goes up in multiples, 500, 1,000, 1,500. So you get 1,500, which is a multiple of 5, of course. You get a couple of other people to do the same thing as you, 500, and you become a silver executive. That's really awesome. Okay, success happens when you do the right things daily. This business, it's all about gathering names and then contacting them. So build a list. Don't just have pieces of paper here and there. Actually create a real list and add names to it. Do that every day. Also, reach out and talk to people. If it's just making a text to somebody, hey, I've come across something, is there some time we could talk? Or call somebody and just say, ask them, invite them to take a look at one of the videos or audios that Avini has. That's what I do. That's the easy way to share the Avini Health story. Or tell your own story. Do that every day. When you do things that are productive and do them every day, then the magic of compounding happens and it adds up. Here's another thing to do every day. Call your mentor every day. I've been doing this for, so many years, having mentors and calling them every day. Be coachable, be accountable. If you're not doing three-way phone calls, it's just not going to work. All the people I know that are successful do lots of three-way phone calls. It's really important. When you follow up, which is a real critical activity, and people are not interested, well, don't think in your mind, well, I just didn't say the right thing. If they, as an example, listen to Rick Deitch talk about Cell Defender and they're not interested, well, if Rick can't convince them, they're probably not convincible. And so it's a lot easier and less frustrating to just think, I'm just in the sorting business. I don't need to get them all. My job is to just get people curious enough to take a look at what we're doing. And then those people, their job is to decide what they want to do with it. And so we're just looking for people who are looking for us. And then when you follow up and the people ask questions, that's the ideal moment. Say, well, I'm pretty new on this, but I've got a friend that he actually had a personal experience with this. Let me see if I can catch him on the phone. He can answer that a lot better than me. That's my favorite way to do a three-way phone call. And so when you introduce them, then just edify them and say, this is Chip or whoever knows a lot about this, and he can answer the question or whatever. But here's the thing that happens. You're learning what these people are saying. They got the right words. They're telling the same jokes every time. But it's a big thing. You're learning to do three-way phone calls yourself. But in the meantime, having that three-way phone call, if that person is interested, they're hearing the process, the validation of the product, realizing that, hey, this is a going concern. We know what we're doing, and there's going to be support. I'm not here all by myself going out to talk to people about this. I've got this support. And so get plugged in. Attitude is everything. It's everything. How do you get the right attitude? Well, just hang around people with the right attitude, but read positive attitude books. Get some good books and make a habit of reading every day. What if you went to the gym and just did that every day? Would you notice any difference in a few weeks? Well, yeah. If you read 15 minutes out of a really good book every day, in a few weeks, would you notice any difference? You would. And so would the people around you, and so would your business. Well, this is a thought right here. This is one of the best books you can ever get, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie, who wrote that book, he says something so wonderful, and we have the opportunity, every one of us, especially as Avini distributors, learn to do this. And don't think, okay, everybody, I got to talk to them about Avini right now. Just have the intent to spread some sunshine and good cheer. And so Dale Carnegie, he says this. He says, you have it easily in your power to increase the sum total of this world's happiness. Think about that. How? How do you do that? By giving a few words of sincere appreciation to someone who is lonely or discouraged. I'd like to interject, if you find somebody that's happy, they'll like it too. So don't just look for people down and out, but definitely everyone enjoys sincere appreciation. Okay, so think about this. Perhaps you will forget tomorrow the kind words you say today, but the recipient may cherish them over a lifetime. Think about that. That's such a wonderful thought right there. And oh my goodness, but we all have such an amazing opportunity to go out and do good. And it's a wonderful idea that every person you meet, it might just be the smile and a good thing, but there's all of these amazing, limitless possibilities. A whole new world could be born by meeting a new friend. And that in turn could connect you to other people where you're actually trying to build an empire. You meet somebody and they think, oh, wow, I want to go big with this. I want to change the world. Well, with this thing where you find three people and teach them to find three people and so on and so forth, over the course of a few years, that compounds into the lives of thousands of people that could be positively affected by this. Wow, let's give birth to a whole new world and go out every day after day, and you'll find some really good people. And it's fun to think about. Here we are at this new company, and there's some wonderful people out there. Think about this. We've done some good things, but probably the biggest leader, the biggest person in this business hasn't even signed up yet. I think in my mind, hopefully they'll sign up somewhere in my organization. But that makes it more likely if you get your net unfurled and gathered out there, so you'll gather more people. But this is the time. I really believe so many really successful people are just ordinary people doing ordinary things, but they're doing them extraordinarily well over time. And that's the thing, is recognize an idea or a trend or the right circumstances and act on it enthusiastically with effort. And as that company grows and gets big, or organization, you become big with it. So this is an opportunity to really go big, make a big difference. And I'm so glad you're part of our team and decide to play big. Thanks a lot. Let's go for it. See you in Las Vegas.